how long can this go on? How long can people have such hostility against someone they don't know, they've never met, and for some reason they seem to believe everything they hear? As an American, we suffer through this every 4 years. It's called a presidential election. The election cycle is a constant barrage of negativity, character assassination, and outright lies. In this instance, we have Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, who was like a star player in the royal family, someone who could bring the crowds and create relevance where otherwise is pretty nothing much there but a, typical situation. But she was able to shed light on some very important causes because of the fact people were so curious about her. And the side benefit was the fact that she's absolutely brilliant. She's very much in connection with the cause. She doesn't just cut the ribbon or draw the curtain back on the plaque and just leave and go and pick out more pretty clothes. She's actually very hands-on, and it was what she was determined to do. But this is what happens when you're too good at your job. It brings out the worst in other royals. So, I'm reading some of the reviews of the bench, and it seems like that same jealousy and hostility from the tabloid reporters has managed to creep into book reviews. But as all things Sussex, the people have spoken. If you are troubled by some of those reviews, I recommend you go to the Amazon site where you can actually see that 94% of the reviews are 5-star. Now, it's not a tremendous amount of reviews for the amount of books sold. It's the people that actually took the time to respond with a review, like myself, which is why I highly recommend wherever you purchase the book, please leave a review. So, in doing so, you could actually help shed light on the truth that it needs life too, because this negativity campaign is exhausting, but I don't ever intend to relinquish my responsibility to tell the truth about the Sussexes, to defend them whenever and wherever possible, because I like to stand on principle, and much as I have done in the past with people like Barack Obama, who actually was not so crazy about, but I do stand on principle because as an African American, I can see where Barack Obama, the President of the United States, and First Lady Michelle were really being mistreated. And so for that reason, I had to don on my cape and get out there and fight for them and speak up and speak out whenever I felt I needed to make sure that they were being defended, because most of the criticism they received was solely based on race. And the same thing with the Duchess of Sussex. My first experience with this type of hatred evolved from a mayoral campaign where, I live in a big city. We had never had an African-American mayor. And for those of you that are younger, you may not remember this, but Los Angeles, Philadelphia, I think, Pittsburgh, New York, all of these big cities, Atlanta, at one point or another, they had an African-American mayor. And at one point or another, it was always this big meltdown where the white people in the city were divided. You had the more liberal-minded who were like, this is really cool and it's about time. God, this is inclusive. And then, of course, you had the other white people who were like, oh my God, this is the beginning of the end. This happens so many times. And so, is there any reason why you would be surprised that the Duchess of Sussex would garner as much hostility and regret and hatred even because of this seismic change that has been made to the royal family, the embodiment of white supremacy in the United Kingdom, and it appears for the Western world, which is why so many people in the United Kingdom, this really shocked me, but so many people in the United Kingdom began to embrace Donald J. Trump. You had the hardcore people that launched a Trump blimp or balloon or whatever, but then you still had these people that were very sympathetic. And what did they all have in common? Brexit. What was the root of Brexit? Racism, white nationalism. We want to make sure that the gene pool is not tainted over here. But if we take our DNA to West Africa or the Americas or Australia, oh, that's perfectly fine. But we just cannot have that sort of thing around these parts, is the way they see it in so much of Europe these days. So is it any wonder? And so the hostility against the Duchess of Sussex, it's really not about her as a person, because they don't know her. It's about this age-old hostility and tribalism. The tribalism. And the one thing that brings people together is hate. Politicians have used this since the beginning. Hate always seems to connect people, whether it's the Salem witch trials or whatever. It's always a thing, and unfortunately it works. And so you'll have someone like that puke face from Good Morning Britain who has managed to build a career on that. You have someone who swears she's a descendant of Russian royalty that lives in some antiquated castle somewhere, who does nothing all day but in her very deep Jamaican voice, you know the one I mean, disparage the Duchess of Sussex. I mean, that character, good God, I don't even know what that is, but I would never have that over for dinner. She swears she's related to the Queen, and the person that she married for 10, 15 minutes before they discovered she wasn't exactly as she appeared to be, he said, if I'm not related to the Queen, how is it possible she's related to the Queen? How does that work? These are the people that are getting the ultimate grift. There are people that are making so much money from this hostility toward the Duchess of Sussex. And, of course, the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry. Harry has gone from being one of the most popular figures in the world to someone who really can't even go back home without there being some uproar. This popularity is a double-edged sword. In some ways, it really bolsters their brand. They are able to command a certain amount of attention, but they need that attention because they need the financial security, because they need physical security because of all the negative attention. So it helps make their I guess names bigger and stronger in terms of any type of position you could think of, bar of course, you know, going back to the UK and like for instance the book, The Bench. When you think about The Bench, in terms of sales on Amazon, 94% of the people who have purchased this book has given it 5 stars, myself included. But in the UK, they swear The Bench is not selling well. Well, there's a hate campaign going on over there. There's a hate campaign. And so for whatever reason, mark my words, we'll see someone walk into a bookstore and just like toss the entire shelf over just because of this bristling hostility that has been created by this fever pitch hate campaign. It is really god awful. And I'm hoping that this summer and of course next year, this summer, this fall, and next year, that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will have a chance to be more visible and to remind people what makes them a power couple. They have some great things going for them, but right now, we're having our paternity leave, so they're not available to defend themselves. Not that they have done a lot of that. And sometimes I get frustrated by it, but the worst thing that you can do is try to disprove a negative, because it just makes the situation worse. So I know, if you're listening to my voice, you're very sympathetic and very, considerate toward the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And we're going through a tough time right now, because I wake up this morning and the headlines are the Duchess of Sussex is going to make a surprise trip to the UK. So as the Sussex Squad, it is our responsibility to make sure that we send all of our prayers and positive energy to Montecito, and also to send it right along to the United Kingdom whenever Harry goes back over there, which I believe the unveiling is for Diana's birthday on the 1st of July. If I got that wrong, correct me in the comments, which some of you all never hesitate to do. I'm just saying. But yeah, so it's a frustrating time, because you think of a newborn baby and how vulnerable the Duchess of Sussex is probably feeling right now. And, if she can hear my voice, if she can hear our collective voices, just so she knows that we have her back. And I have been listening to some really cool podcasts. The two ladies that Tina and Michelle recommended on the Sussex Squad podcast a couple weeks ago, I guess it was 3 weeks ago. Facts and 2 Cents. I love their podcast, Facts and 2 Cents. I'm a little confused by the name, because I see it says here Glass Flower Films. So I don't know if that's a production company and they're using the channel for the Facts and 2 Cents. But anyway, that's a great one. And also the Duchess of Success, formerly known as Markle Sparkle. I enjoy her podcast. And then there is Duchess of Impact. Duchess of Impact always has the best receipts when they put it together. So that's always a great one to watch, is the Duchess of Impact. Unfortunately, Hugo is still MIA. So for whatever reason, I really miss Hugo. He's not available, so we don't have him. But there's someone filling in, and she's doing a good job. But I kind of miss Hugo. So yeah, please make sure you support these guys, because we need that positivity. Our podcasts are popping up in the algorithm, and while we may not be there to change hearts and minds all the time, we will find other like-minded people that are equally as frustrated as we are with this campaign of hate that is like tormenting the Sussexes from day to day. They're in a better place right now, so even though I make it sound so god-awful, I mean, they're in a better place right now. They're not as bad off as they were over in the United Kingdom. So please like, share, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get the updates. And also, if you can make a donation to the PayPal, Cash App, or maybe consider becoming a Patreon. That'd also be really cool. Daily uploads, of course. And that's it. Oh, as the Duchess always says, no bad energy.